Welcome to the Healing Spirits Here and There podcast with Terri and Amanda, where you'll hear spiritual perspectives, weird mediumship experiences, and try intuitive and trust-building exercises for yourself. Join us every Friday. Like and subscribe to never miss a show, and let's get started. Hello, and welcome to the Healing Spirits Here and There podcast. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Terri. And today we are going to talk about some of the clairs, and later on, some practices with one or two of them.
Yep, and then we also just want to make a couple notes about our first episode where we just have a couple notes. So, for example, Terri, you wanted to talk about, we called the way we met.
Mm-hmm. The development circles. They're not what we said that they were. We all had blanks. Like even in readings, sometimes people go blank, and I went blank there, or I also went blank when she asked me to tell a funny story.
Yeah, we had called it a mediumship circle, I think, and that, I don't know that it really matters, but they're called development circles, and I'm like, I don't know, I don't remember.
But I'm on my way home going, duh, it was a development circle. How come you didn't know that? So
yeah.
And then you were going to talk about the oil thing.
Yeah, I really glossed over talking about essential oils and saying, you know, just make sure you get a therapeutic grade essential oil. And that the book, the Emotions in Oils, is based on doTERRA oils. And I do exclusively use doTERRA oils because they are high grade oils. And anyways, I didn't really talk about that because if you just go buy an oil and it just smells good, it doesn't do anything for you. So you have to make sure you get really good essential oils. So doTERRA and Young Living are really good. I just choose doTERRA. I think that one is by far the best for me. And anyway, so I just wanted to make sure that I told you guys that, because if you go out and just buy an oil, it's not necessarily going to have the same effect on you, on your mood, on your body, and you are able to like ingest them and put them on you and all this other stuff that you do not want to do with just some oil.
You don't want no fake stuff.
Yeah, you don't want no fake stuff. You probably already know that, but I didn't say it. So anyway, so we're going to talk about the clairs, and we know how much Terri loves clairs.
It's not that I don't like clairs, I just the clair word. And did you know that the word clair means clear?
That makes sense.
So clear seeing, clear hearing, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just hard for me to remember. I just know that I could hear, see, smell, taste.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter that much,
Yeah, I know, but it might matter to some people, and that's why we needed to clear it up.
Yeah, that's true. So the clairs were, you got it. You see there? Just going to go over kind of the main clairs. So clairvoyance is clear seeing. Mm-hmm. Clairaudience is
clear hearing.
Clairsentience is feeling. And claircognizance is knowing. And then, I don't know how to say this one. It sounds weird. Clairalience? I cannot be saying that right. Is the clear smelling?
Yeah, right. We better check into that one.
I know, that can't be right. Clear smelling? I don't want that one. I don't want the smelling clair.
I've had the clearing smell.
I guess I've had
the clearing smell. I've had the clearing smell.
I've had it where I've smelled perfumes. That's all I want to smell, though. I don't want to smell other stuff. I'm just kidding. I know that's not how it works.
Uh-oh. It's okay, just keep going.
Anyways, these are senses that everybody might have, right? Everybody does have. You might just be stronger in one. You may be completely unaware of these, or maybe you're currently working on them, or just have a natural ability already.
Oh, but if you was someone who didn't hear or couldn't smell, then the other things would be more heightened. Mm-hmm. If you take away one sense because your body doesn't have it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like someone who can't see, they're blind.
Right.
They have major senses of everything around them. So I think that enlightens them.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything else specifically that we want to go over with the clairs?
Well, we could talk about the, oh boy.
What?
You let me go into a brain fart. You're going to put that potty thing in my mouth. I'm so sorry. So, about like, you said the, I don't know how to say that word, the smelling one.
Yeah.
That one, I've only done a few times. Cigarette smoke. Mm-hmm. Wet dog. Wet dog.
Ooh, yeah.
It was right before reading. Wet dog. I do get the flower scents.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I've only got it a couple times. I was actually laying in bed and I was just having a memory. I was just thinking about, I had a reading by a friend in this old house. And I remember part of the reading, it wasn't my reading, it was for a friend. His grandmother came through and she said, this house didn't always look like this because a grandson lives there now and he's pretty messy. And so, and anyways, I was thinking about that. And right when I thought that, I got this really loud smell of like this antique old perfume. And I thought, that's so weird because all I'm doing right now is thinking about that reading.
Yeah.
And I got the smell and I was like, and I was laying in bed in the dark and I was like, oh my gosh, is that lady in bed with me right now?
Oh my God.
Why am I getting her smell? This is creeping me out. That was like a month ago.
When you're home in bed?
Yes, isn't that weird? It doesn't make sense, right?
Oh, it makes sense if you're tagging along people and they know that you're sensitive.
Oh.
You know, they think,
I mean, that
well,
was
hey,
years ago.
there goes some beacons of light. Let me go tag along.
You know, there is just so much going on that we don't know what the heck it is because it just was it was really weird to me. Anyways, maybe my clairvoyance, that can't be right. Never mind, I'm not even going to say it. The smelling clair is getting stronger.
Well, now you know why I don't like the clairs.
The other ones, I don't know. I just don't know about that one.
Okay, we'll have to look it up and put a memo in at the bottom of what it's really called, right?
Yeah, I mean, I looked it up and I wrote it down, but it just seems wrong.
Like, bing, over here, this is what it means.
Yeah.
What about that, say that next word that I was talking about that I didn't know existed.
Okay, so there's this other thing that isn't one of the senses, but maybe it should be, and it's called pareidolia? Pareidolia?
It's not in mine. Oh, it's back here. Here you go.
Pareidolia.
And this is something that I have done the majority of my life. And I just thought one day, why do I see things in things? Why do I just see things in the clouds? Why do I see it on the kitchen tile? Why do I see it in the trees or whatever? I'm like, why do I keep seeing this?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah, do you see things in things?
In the wall, in anything and everything, I see faces, bodies, animals, anything. And I used to, back in my other life where I was working all the time, not working as a mom, but working. Whenever I go into the ladies' room, there's the tiles in there and I would look at the tiles and they would all have different faces in them. And there was one tile in particular, always looked like a monk and that he was letting birds go. And I would look and I would always just see or just wonder like, are other people seeing these? And like when I take a shower and the little drops go on the shower wall,
right.
I always see them make something.
Yeah.
I'll see whatever. And the clouds too, I always see eyes in the clouds and I just see faces everywhere.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that other people were seeing that too.
Well,
we never talk about it.
Right, and I just had to look it up a day. What does it mean when you see things? And when I looked it up, that's when we get that word. I think that it should be part of, call it your pareidolia, whatever that is, because it's very clear that these are images that we are seeing.
Yeah.
And you're just seeing them and you don't know what the purpose is, but they have helped me in my readings like you wouldn't even believe.
That's so cool.
So in a sense, you would think, is that my third eye? Maybe it is. It is. It has to be your third eye. But I literally see these things like a real person.
Yeah.
And that would be the third eye. But it's different than the dead man on the road or walking man on the road I was talking about. This is a bush turning into a man.
Right. Or just seeing a face in anything. Like, so, you know, I mentioned that I just had a baby, so I spent a lot of time sitting in one spot breastfeeding, just sitting in my bedroom. Here I am, sitting again, you know, and I would stare at my laundry basket. This is ridiculous. So the laundry basket would always have clothes piled on it because, you know, wasn't real on top of it. I'm still not.
You're still a mom.
And anyway, so I'm sitting there staring at the laundry, and the laundry would fall in just such a way that I would see like an old man in the clothes. And I told David that I spent so much time looking at the laundry basket that it's my friend, because he'd take it down and move it. And I'd say, where's my laundry basket? I need to see my friends in there. I'm bored. You know, I'm sitting up in my room nursing with the baby all the time. And it's just so silly. And I just never thought anybody else was seeing these faces in anything.
Yeah.
And some look grumpy, some are nice, some are animals. It's all completely different. And you had said you looked this up, and a long time ago, if you said that you saw faces and things, you were considered schizophrenic.
Yeah, it was like way back in the day. So this goes way back. But now, because everything back then, you know, comes up and we're not really like that. And it did say that it shows that someone is very creative, which makes some very good sense for you because you do art and you paint and you do drawings and you can see and you can visualize. So that makes perfect sense that you could see it. So if you all are out there and you think you see something, you are, but it's a matter of, is there a meaning behind it? For you, there wasn't really, but to me, there is.
Yeah. Well, you know, now that you say that, now if I'm around, like if I'm with a friend or something and I see something, now I'm going to describe it and see if it means anything to them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because maybe it does. And I've taken pictures of them before. I saw this face in a tree and it was so clear. And I'm like saying to David, like, this face is like staring at me from the tree, I swear. And so I took a picture and showed it to him and he could see it.
Yeah.
He could see it in the tree.
Yeah. I have some pictures. I brought some today of those clouds. And these might be very obvious to you, but what would you see? And if you showed it to somebody else, what would they see?
And we'll put them on the screen so you guys can see them.
Right. So what did you see there?
Okay, so hold on.
Let's show that one.
Okay, so we'll take a minute and it'll be on the screen here.
Okay.
Maybe a unicorn?
Absolutely. That's exactly what I saw.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't know how you show that. And then this one, what would you get?
I see a face right here. Ooh, it's a creep. To me, it looks like an alien. There's like eyes and a nose.
Wow, that's more than what I saw.
I don't know what you saw in that one, but we'll
I can kind
see.
of see what you're talking about.
Right there?
Yeah, but I see the elephant.
Oh, I see a happy face.
Do you see that you could see a lot of things, but I saw the trunk, the eye, the ear.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So, and this is one of my all-time favorites. That was not a cloud. That was a tree and the sun and
Like a little person walking.
I see an angel. I see a fairy angel with wings and her hair, and she's doing this, and she's walking, yes, way up in the trees.
Cool.
See how you see it too?
Yeah.
This one, when I asked the grandson, what did he see? He said that pretty much he described this to me. And what I see is a lion on top of a sphinx. And that's pretty big, right? That's like, you really got to see that. The lion's face is looking up. Here's the sphinx. Here's his, but it's like a cat sphinx.
I see.
But everyone I've showed it to see it. So
Everyone
but
you showed
then
it to sees
I
it.
go home and, oh, look at that man. When you turned it upside down, I saw that. But when I go home, I look it up. What is the meaning
what
of
is the
lion?
meaning?
What is the meaning of sphinx? What is the spiritual meaning?
Yeah.
Not just the meaning.
Yeah. And if
Okay.
you're listening to this, you can't see the pictures, so we're
Right.
sorry, but they're pictures of clouds.
Right.
And one is a picture of the sun through the trees. And we do have one more, which this one seems really obvious. It looks like a heart.
Yeah, you could show those.
Yeah, I'll show all those so you guys can look at them and see for yourself.
But they can't see it on the camera now. You just have to put them in the bottom of your link.
No, I'll stick it on the video.
Okay, fine.
Yep, everyone will see it, don't worry.
She knows what she's doing.
So
that would be the seeing.
now can you tell the story about how this helped in a reading?
Well, it wasn't through a cloud. I had did a reading over the phone before I knew what FaceTime was.
And I'm just going to peek at the camera real quick.
You go do that. I hope that you push the button.
Yeah, we're good. You know, it's
Your
just
button pusher person's not here.
I know, it's just us this time, so just gotta double check.
One time I did a reading from a lady that was, I don't know, back east somewhere, and I was having to put my square on my phone to have her pay. But the whole entire time I was doing the reading, I kept seeing, I'm going to call it a bramble, like, you know, like the bushes in the winter when they get brown and they kind of just there.
They just like fall, like all the leaves have fallen off.
No, it's just like, it looks like a pampas grass, so to speak, and all the leaves are just hanging. They haven't fallen. It's not sticks. This is like a bush.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of brownish because it's winter.
Okay.
Well, there was a man in it, and I kept walking as I was doing the phone reading. Thank God, you know, it was a phone reading. And I would walk from all the windows downstairs in my house, and I would look, and I was sitting there going, yeah, no matter where I went, this man was still there.
Now, when you say you see the man in the bush, can you describe for everyone who isn't familiar with this, like, is it the leaves creating the face of a man, or can you say how you see it?
If you were to look at that bush, you weren't going to create anything. He was just in the bush. But so here we go. We might be third eye again, right? So at the end of it, she paid me on the phone, and then I just asked her, could I ask her questions? And then I said, does your dad have long hair like ZZ Top? And she said, yes. And then I said, well, does he have like a mustache? Which of course you can't see me, but I'm doing all this at home.
Right.
Does he have this like mustache that goes up and around like down? And she's like, yes. And I said, like this is really freaking me out. And I said, one more question. Does your dad have very large, dark, inset eyes, like big brown eyes? And she says, oh my God, you see my dad? And I said, yeah, something like that. He's a bush. And she's like,
oh
my dad's
goodness.
a bush? And I said, I cannot explain this to you. but it is. I see those things.
In the bush.
In the bush. So how validating that was for her, let alone me, that I was like, this really just happened. Or there was one time a lion just took up the whole top of the tree.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, I don't know what that one means, but I'll look that up later. But when my reading came in, I said, just right off the bat, I just want to ask, do lions mean anything to you? And they said that the person in spirit, one of the grandparents would, or family member would take the person to the zoo, and they would have lunch by the lion cage, you know, 3 or 4 times a year.
Where did you see the lion?
In the top of the tree.
Oh, yeah, you just said that.
I did just say that. You have CRS?
I think I do.
You and Taryn, boy, both of you today.
Oh my goodness.
So that's where I saw it.
Okay.
But to me, that's the reason why I saw it. And what I say to everybody is, I don't care how stupid it sounds, how stupid it looks, you need to say it. Especially if you're walking in this type of world of seeing and hearing and tasting and whatever, because that was a very significant meaning to them. Especially if one of them don't believe in you. you know?
Yeah.
And I can promise I've never seen that lion again up there.
Yeah, that's like it went away.
Right. So
It
when
left.
you go in the bathroom and you start seeing things, then I would wonder where that belongs. What kind of message does it have for you? It's not all about other people. Those messages could be for us.
Yeah, that's true.
You
I
know?
always see happy faces. Like I will spill something on the ground and there will be eyes and a smile. It happens all the time. It's so funny.
Because you're a happy person. Right?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part.
The other, like you said that, that's so funny because we had JJ's birthday, my grandson's birthday, and we opened up I got those ice creams in the cups, and I peeled it up, and there was 2 dots and a smile.
Really?
I have a picture of it. I was going to bring it, and I thought, we're not talking about ice cream.
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
it's but that's the thing. It can literally be anything. My spilled food, laundry.
Right. Would love to know if anybody else sees stuff and things.
Yeah, comment stuff that you've seen or any of the clairs that you have experience with. Just, what's going on with you, because it's really fun to share and it's really fun to hear what's going on with other people, you know, because everybody's got everybody has these abilities. And I was telling Terry that I had looked up the definition of clairvoyance because I was just curious what it said. And it said, the definition I found said, the magical ability to see beyond the here and now or whatever. And I just think that's so silly because when you hear the word magic, then it sounds not real, or it sounds like something you can't have. And it's not magic, it's just a sense. And I think so many people have these senses and they're not confident and they don't even know they have them because it's made to seem like something that is magic or crazy. And it's not. It's just part of who we are. You know, we're, as humans, a lot more amazing and special and whatever than we ever get told. And so, you know, that's why we need to practice our clairs or just become aware of them. So you can know.
Yeah, but I'm going to argue with you.
Sure, argue with me.
I'm going to say that before development circles, before going to classes with renowned mediums and learning, I didn't have anything like that. And I thought I was magical. So I could see the definition. And I had one friend, and I recently just found out that she just passed, but she used to call me her magical friend. Because I would say things and they would happen, or whatever it was, she would always say, "You're just my magical friend." Why is your phone doing that?
That's not my phone, that's yours. I set mine to silent. I don't know about you.
Oh my word. But I have to say, it is magical. It's magical. It's woo-woo. It's
It is,
facts,
but that's
it's
okay.
everything.
That's okay for you, and that's okay for some people, but that word isn't okay for a lot of people.
Sure. Okay, I'll give you that.
So maybe it's not so much about the words, but when some people hear that or read that, it immediately turns them off because that's not the way that they were taught, or it doesn't go with their religion or whatever. And so the whole topic gets kind of just shut down. And so to think of it as not magic and just think of it as part of who we are as humans that we haven't explored, because, you know, I'm sure science has studied this, as we know. They don't tell us that they study it and it's real, and they use it for so many years, like for, you know, all kinds of stuff that they do. But for us, you're still kind of silly, or you can be considered kind of silly or woo-woo or whatever.
Woo-woo. I'm going to be woo-woo magic, okay?
You be woo-woo whatever you want. Everybody be woo-woo whatever you want.
And some people don't like that woo-woo word. That means like, I don't know, just some people just don't like it. It's in a fun way that I'm saying magical or psychic or whatever works for you. You use it, you do you.
Yeah, just whatever works for you. I mean, we don't care.
Yeah.
We're just trying to help.
Yeah.
And so I used to go to this yoga class, and it was yoga, meditation, and Tai Chi. And anyways, the teacher always used to say, the more flexible your body is, the more flexible your mind is. And I always kind of like that, like, you got to make your mind flexible where you're willing to entertain new ideas and take it or leave it, but at least be open to listening to things and exploring it. And you guys have to excuse me, I'm just getting over a little bit of a cold, so don't mind my slightly nasally voice.
I don't think you're nasally.
Anyways, I always like that. The more flexible your body is, the more flexible your mind is.
That makes good sense. That's a good, we should write that one down on like a little Post-it note. Put it up in the mirror. Oh, real quick. I know it's not in our lineup, but I really want to go back to your I love you in the mirror.
Oh yeah, did you
I've
do
been
it?
doing it every day. I've done it before, but it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
But I've been doing it every day. No, I'm not looking while I'm driving. I'm looking at the clouds.
Yeah, don't crash.
But I have been doing it, and before it would make me feel uncomfortable, like the camera makes me feel uncomfortable. And I have been doing it, not necessarily the heart or whatever, but as I'm putting on my makeup and I'm going to say, well, I love you and you're having a great day, or you're going to have a good day and things are going to get better. And I'm trying to see the positive in a lot of things, but I'm doing them now in the mirror because you mentioned it.
I see. Yay!
So
good. Woohoo! It's exciting.
And I know that wasn't part of our subject, but you said that and I was like going to give it to you.
That's okay. You know, I was having this, oh my God, I was in just the worst mood a couple days ago. Just so cranky. And I think it's because I've been sick and so the baby has been sick. So I've been getting really bad sleep. Woke up, I'm tired and exhausted and I'm grumpy, man, you know? And I had to go to Costco. And
you don't go to Costco when you're grumpy.
You go anyways when you need to. You do what you got to do. And so I had to go to Costco. And anyways, I swear to God, the universe was conspiring to make me in a good mood. It was hilarious. It's like the world was going, hey, snap out of it. Things are good. Stop being such a butthole. And so just for example, I'm in the parking lot. I go to get in the spot that is right near me and this person comes from the other direction and I see that he wants it. He's an older guy. So I'm like, fine, the old guy can have a parking spot, whatever. And I go find a new one and he's not even out of the car yet. Like by the time I park and get out, he's still getting out. And anyway, so we end up walking next to each other up to Costco and he's walking really fast, like won't even look at me. And I'm like, oh, some people are just so grumpy, right? I'm the grumpy one, but I'm like, some people are so rude. He won't even look at me. I'm carrying the baby, you know? And then anyways, he's rushing and he is going fast because he wants to get me a cart.
Aww.
And so he's in front of me. He gets me a cart and he goes, here's a cart for you. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And then I like go into Costco and as I'm walking in, I don't know why I had some thought like, oh, something. And then this guy looks at me and he says, have a wonderful day. And your son is so cute. And I was like, okay, this is really nice. And that I can't even remember. There was just thing after thing. And then when I went to leave Costco and I got all my groceries out and all I had was the baby left. And the grocery cart guy was putting the carts away right then. And he came up and he said, oh, I'll take your cart for you. And it was like perfect timing.
Love it.
And I was like, oh my gosh. Anyways, this is off topic, but it just was so funny. It was like the whole world was conspiring to remind me that people are nice. Yeah. And it's really like, just get out of your grumpy mood and, you know, and change your attitude. Mm-hmm. Not you guys, me. I mean, but we all have those days.
Yeah. Yeah. I did that. I was out driving in the snow yesterday going to sage a house. But lovely house, lovely drive, lovely client.
Yeah.
And someone working on the house, and the vibes were like, oh, do you need to be saged? No, in my head, right? And I was just like, I just was very positive and said, wow, I hope you have a good day. And you're doing a great job. Everything looks beautiful. And I was like, looking at her and she's just laughing at me.
So you were having you were in a grumpy mood.
I was not in a grumpy mood. I was in a stress mood because of the drive through the snow and the ice.
I see.
Where I went, it wasn't a plowed area and, you know, people are off on the ditch and I don't want to be one of those people in the ditch.
I see. So you would just like on your drive there, you're like,
Right.
oh,
But when I
getting
got
more
there,
and
I
more
was
stressed.
totally fine. But when I went in, this person was there. It wasn't me that was in that mood. It was the other person that was giving it to me.
One of the people at the house?
Yes, a worker.
Oh, I see. Okay. You're not talking about your client.
No, my client's beautiful. She's nice.
Okay. I was like, Terry, come on. You can't talk about your clients like that on the
No, I
podcast.
was trying to be very positive, trying to be very positive about the guy. And I was like, yeah, have fun with that.
Oh, I see.
I didn't let it. Even, I wasn't angry. I was just probably, to be honest, I was probably just scared of the drive.
Yeah,
But I just, whatever.
Moving on, anyways. It could be just easy to get in a loop of a crummy mood sometimes. So,
Okay.
Terry brought a book that she wanted to share.
Yeah. I like to talk about when you're when you're seeing things, I like to practice seeing things. And not that this is probably not the norm, but I have this picture and it's called The Magic, here, hold that one.
Okay.
The Magic Eye, A New Way of Looking at the World. But there's many, many books like this.
These were so popular when I was a teenager. I had a big poster on my wall, a Magic Eye poster. I remember it still.
Oh my God, I wonder if I would embarrass the kids to tell them I had a dolphin one. It was a poster, a cardboard poster, and it was this size. It was this size.
Yeah, yeah.
And I stuck it in the bathroom on the wall. So when you went to the bathroom, you had something to stare at. And little did I know that it was probably enhancing things to see that are not really, when you look at that, you just see a bunch of roses. But
Right.
in this book, it's just like a way of relaxing the eye. And when I'm doing it, I like to think seeing beyond. Like we are more than we are.
Right.
We're like soul connection, right? So we're this energy of light. So I want to look past that in this paper. Like you're going to look through the paper. That's how I look at it.
Gotcha.
Okay. And so sometimes, to be honest, because you just look at it going, yeah, I'm not going to see that here. And she's going to try to put this up on the
Yeah,
video?
I'll put it up. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it.
I want to know
but-
if they can see it. So I'm not going to tell you what's in this picture. They can leave in the comments if they can see it.
Okay.
Because when I copied it off, I thought, is it going to affect it? But it didn't. I was still able to see it. But to be honest, some people can't just look at it. Let me have this for a minute.
Okay.
So sometimes you have to, literally this is what I do.
Yeah.
Go right up here. I'm serious. Wait a minute. So I go way up here until my eyes are almost crossed and I'm confident where I'm at. And then boom, it's there.
Okay.
Okay. So you do, page from page to page. There's one in this page, one in this book I can't get.
Really?
And I don't know the way it's made or whatever. I picked the easiest one in my mind.
Okay, which is
Okay.
this one. And so for those that are listening, what we have is the Magic Eye book. And just trying to look at these and see if you can find the hidden picture. And Terry says it's a really good way of
Making your mind see past things. So to exercise seeing those things.
yeah. So it's just good practice.
Practice of something that's not theirs or trusting what you see. Maybe that there's, you know what?
What?
I just had a thought. Look at you, you're so funny. Don't tell what it is if you see it, but just let me know if you find it. But you're talking about the tile. It just kind of popped into my head that this is like tile. And then that there's things in it. And one of these, I thought, well, that was really interesting. This one is a bunch of children.
Oh, I see it.
Don't you tell? Good girl. Look at her. Go. So this one is a bunch of children. So you can make them. You got roses on here, and we're looking at a bunch of children, like a bunch of dots. And the one that I had at the house when the kids were younger was dolphins jumping.
Yeah. I feel like there were 3 dolphins.
Yes.
That was a very popular
it was
one.
very popular. So these are a bunch of children and you look at them, but then you have this scenery here, like what is in this scenery? And some people, maybe they just said, oh, I could see it from now. I would love to know. Do you see it from now?
Yeah.
So this is just an exercise. Is the only reason why we're talking about it. I use the book for an example. She'll put that book up if you wanted to look at it. I just Google it. You can just Google these images.
Right, you don't have to buy the book.
You don't have to buy the book, but I used it, so the Magic Eye ink is where it is. And I'm so glad you saw that.
Yeah.
But then we were talking about trying to make ourselves see more as well, and you have one.
Yeah, so for people who want to practice their visualization skills, like if you don't feel like you're really strong in closing your eyes and being able to visualize things, an exercise you can do is just find something brightly colored, like this ball or an apple or just anything that's a bright color, and stare at it.
I'm going to stare with you.
Okay, stare at it for like 5-10 seconds. Staring, and then close your eyes and try and see that object. And then open your eyes and just do it again. And it's just an exercise on visualization. It can be any object, just something that's, I say brightly colored. I always think that's easiest, but, and you might do this already. Maybe you're really like a person who sees in your mind's eye very easy. But if you're not, this is a way to kind of exercise that muscle and make it easier to start doing that, because it's very challenging for some people. And it's not something we do all the time. Like, why would we, you know?
Why would you?
So,
but you did a meditation for me one time, and you were talking to me, and you're telling me, oh, visualize this, visualize that. My eyes are closed, and I'm sitting there going, I see nothing what she's talking about. So that is how you exercise of actually visualizing.
yeah, so if you're one of those people who do meditations and you're like, I don't know what they're talking
Or like
about.
guided meditations.
Yeah. Or even go to like a sound bath and they walk you through like a little journey and you're like, I hear the music, but I'm not seeing what they're saying.
Right.
You know, this is something that you can do to practice.
So I have an exercise like that too that we used in my development circle. Now that I know the word.
Yeah, good job.
Okay, is to do it in the dark and light a candle. And just sit in the dark on a beanbag, on the floor, in the couch, wherever you want to go. Just don't fall
In the couch?
Well, sit in the couch.
On the couch.
Fine, sit on the couch. Oh my God. So, fine, sit on the couch. And you just focus on this candle, and then you turn around and like you're holding it for 30 seconds, a minute or whatever. Just focus on the flame. Close your eyes. I can think that that is way easier for me to see this, because everybody sees differently, gets information differently. So this one worked because it's kind of like staring at that light ring or something, and then you close your eyes and you see it.
Because so you have a physical imprint that's there, like when somebody takes a picture and there's a flash.
Yes. And then in the camera, in my eyes,
That's a camera.
It disappears. And sometimes I'll sit there and go, no, come back, and try to bring it back. So that's another way of trying to see things. I think that these things work for me.
Yeah.
Or or them.
Yeah, whoever. Them, us, everyone.
Yep, absolutely.
And so we're kind of really talking about clairvoyance now. And you know, you can't talk about clairvoyance without talking about the pineal gland or the third eye.
Yeah.
Which is so interesting, because if you look up the pineal gland, it's like it literally has rods and cones, just like your eyeball.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you should look it up. It's just really interesting.
So are you going to put the pineal, how do you say?
Pineal.
This is why you do the talking.
Pineal.
Okay, gland.
Yes.
On the...
Yeah. Yep, we'll put it in there. But yeah, literally is like an eyeball. Like it has the same makeup. And so I find that to be very, very interesting myself.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. And so these are all ways to exercise your clairvoyance, your seeing, using your third eye, aka pineal gland, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, make comments too if this is something you're good at or you have experience with. We'd love to hear what's going on with you.
That's really good. Cool. So we have the ball, the candle, and the gland.
Yes. And let's see, Terri, you have a story.
I have a story.
Yes. You have a clairvoyance story.
Oh, yes. Okay, fine. I remember the story. See, she told me what I was talking about today. Recently, this last year, I had gotten COVID, and it was my second time. This time it was way, way, way worse. I was out of work for maybe a month. I was very, very, very ill.
Goodness.
And the only thing I could do was sleep. And then after that, I was so drained. To be honest with you, I thought I was going to die.
Oh, gosh.
Really, 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 I felt that bad. But then I said, okay, I know I haven't been the best listener, but I'm going to listen now. And I'm going to eat better, and I'm going to meditate every day. So all I could do is sit in the chair anyways because I had no energy. So I started meditating and meditating. So after I and I was getting some really cool stuff that I had to look up that was all personal and growth messages for me.
Yeah.
So then I had to take the grandson to the bus, and we live on a dark road, and it's dark out. It's a 2-lane dark road. There's no streetlights out there. And it was probably early in the morning. Well, it was early in the morning because he's getting on the school bus. But anyways, he had asked me to take the cat with us to the bus stop. Okay, so I take him.
With the cat's in the car.
So we have the cat in the car, and I'm holding the cat. And we're sitting there waiting because we got there too early. And I see this man walking down the road in a pair of like gym shorts, t-shirt, sandy blonde hair. He has no shoes on, and it's cold out, and there's no light, and it's a 2-lane road. And I blurted out, what the hell is this guy doing walking in this cold weather with no clothes on in the dark? And that's pretty much all I said. And my grandson goes, where? And then I'm like, oh crap, don't say anything, don't say anything. So I just start petting the cat because the man was so real, right? And I'm thinking, why isn't, and then he was gone. And then a few minutes later, my grandson says, so Maja, do you have readings today? And I was like, yeah, buddy, I do. I go back to work today. I have 2. Why? And he says, oh, I just think one of their loved ones is showing up early. I mean, seriously, think about it, because I think that children have these gifts. But then was he just being mindful or whatever? Well, my first client comes, and I mention it like I mentioned the lion or whatever. No, this lady's not taking it. But the second lady, that's exactly who she was there to see that day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was
Did
the
it
crazy.
have any significance that he was walking down the street?
What he wore is exactly what he was in when he passed.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know why he was walking down the street, because he didn't die in the street or anything.
Okay.
I think what the grandson said is true. And I think that from all the recovery that I did and just being calm, that was it. I never would have honestly asked my clients about this person.
Yeah. If he didn't say that.
If he hadn't said anything, I would have just said, oh my God, that was cool. That was cool stuff.
And you saw him with your eyeballs like a regular person walking down the street, which is unusual.
Well, that is. But honest to God, that's third eye.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's what we were talking about, that bush, that's third eye. So you see things. You know, I see animals on the road all the time, but my grandma used to. She said it was night blindness. And my daughter sees them at the night, but like I'll swerve to miss something that's not there on the road. Oh, God,
that's terrible.
So I just don't drive at night. You know, it's always at night.
Well, you're not driving at all right now then, because it's dark at like 4:30. No, you're stuck at home.
No, just keep going.
Well, you know, I see sparkles, and people bring sparkles with them. Like we had a house guest a little while ago, and he had sparkles all around him. And so sparkles are maybe angels or loved ones or whatever. And I see different colors of sparkles. And sometimes if I'm talking about a certain person, I'll see like, boop, a little sparkle, and that started happening years ago.
Sparkles.
I see sparkles. And so I talked to a friend that worked at an eye place because I was like, is there something wrong with my eyes? Like, I think there's something wrong. I might be losing something with my eyeballs because this is not normal. And she had actually told me that a lot of people see sparkles and there's nothing actually physically wrong with your eye. And I was like, oh. Because she's heard of that before, other people saying that they see sparkles.
So you kind of, I've never heard of that, didn't know that, but it's kind of like aura sparkles.
Oh, maybe. And I see things behind people all the time. Like there was this, I have a girlfriend, Vicky, and she had a friend that we see every now and then anyways, and that friend walked in and behind her I see just like the image of a huge tree. And then I have it just happens if I'm around someone for a while and I'm looking at them for a while, I see things on them or around them. And so that's all third eye too, I suppose. And, I would never really say anything because I'm like, oh, okay, I see a tree behind you. Cool.
Why wouldn't you say something?
But no, I do more now. I'm trying to just talk about it.
Right. But I want you to say something.
Yeah. Just like you, just like when I saw someone playing cards above your head, right? I wouldn't usually say that to people, but it's kind of fun and,
When I came to see the baby, I was holding the baby, trying to put him to sleep, and you randomly said, do you have candy cane earrings? And I was like, what? And you said, I see like something behind you, but it's like
someone was touching your hair.
Right. But it was the candy canes were very significant to me because, and no, my grandmother did not wear candy cane earrings, and nor do I. But that's her favorite. That's her favorite at Christmas time. That's what she'd get. I'd buy her these big, massive candy canes, and she'd hit them with a hammer, and she'd eat them.
So hit them with a hammer.
Yeah, because they're about this big around. I'd buy the big 5-pound thing.
Oh, wow.
Her. Yeah, and now I have this place where I honor all my loved ones, and some of my clients are on my thing.
Nice.
And it's either that or the fruitcake, but I put the candy cane out for her. It's just like my little thing. It's just my little thing.
But yeah, that's all clairvoyant stuff. And it's like, I think a lot of us see things and we don't realize we see things. Or maybe you just have a little thing pop in your head or whatever and you don't know. So,
and now I just need everybody to be mindful and be open to seeing some of these things.
Yeah.
And maybe you don't see nothing at all, and that's okay too, because maybe you're going to hear all kinds of things.
Exactly. Exactly. Everybody's different. So, is there anything, how long have we been? 45, I think.
You asked me that on our first podcast, and I said, well, it was 46 minutes, and it just clicked to 46 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just clicked.
Cool.
And that's probably where we wrapped up last time.
Just about. A little bit less.
Yeah. Is there anything else you have?
No, we just mostly wanted to talk about that today and get you guys excited to hear about some more clairs. I think that's what we're going to talk about on our next show as well. Kind of expand on some other ones and see where that conversation goes. And there's a couple of clients have reached out, or maybe there have been new people that have hit up on my Facebook page, and they've asked some questions. And I think there's actually a question on this video. Did you see a question on there? I think I saw one, and we need to be able to answer those questions as well. Are you talking about the comment section?
Yes.
Yeah, I already answered some, but yeah, you can leave questions there and we'll answer them.
Yeah.
Just give us some time, if you email us, that email will be just wait for an answer within a few days or a week or something like that. It just depends.
Yeah, because she has a baby. I'm not doing emails. This is her.
So, yeah, you'll hear from me. So,
okay. And she lets me know what they say. She reads them to me, or she sends
Or if
them
they're
over
for
to me.
Terri, yeah, I'll send them to Terri.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to see all the people that have shared and viewed. And I know that our first one was kind of a little chaotic. I do think I feel very much better about this one today.
Yeah.
So a little bit forward movement, but I've got coffee.
I know, and then I'm a little under the weather today, so I'm like a little bit off, but you know, it's
I like
okay.
off.
You like off?
Because I'm usually off and you're together, and this way I kind of feel better about it.
It's all balancing out here. So, well, thank
Okay.
you guys so much for being with us today. We super appreciate you. And
I, again, want to say that I love every one of you. I feel for every one of you. You all are special. You're your own unique snowflake and all that you do, and they're just magical. I'm sorry, they're magical.
I'm okay
And
with it.
beautiful, and beautiful. Thank
Absolutely.
you from our hearts to yours. Thank you.